First of all, I will axe the Carney tax. Can you imagine in the middle of this trade dispute how irresponsible the Liberals and Mark Carney must be to contemplate a $20,000 tax on Canadian-made gas-powered vehicles? It is utterly reckless.
What made you decide to come to Nova Scotia now, and what have you been hearing from people here regarding their biggest concerns this election cycle?
Thank you. Well, it's never a bad time to go to Nova Scotia. It's great to be here. Mr. Carney won't stop with taxing gas-powered vehicles. He wants to get rid of those vehicles altogether. Listen to the quote from his book, which he wrote just 4 years ago. Carney wrote that we need to, quote, use the regulatory policy to frame the future direction of our economy, such as explicit timetables to phase out internal combustion engines. These measures are critical, he says, and that's exactly what he plans to do. The Liberals have set a deadline to ban new gas-powered vehicles altogether by 2035, but that ban is phased in starting next year. In other words, this is not a tomorrow problem, this is a now problem. Dealerships like this one across Canada have no idea how they're going to meet these timelines, how they're going to continue operating and selling vehicles. Many will have to lay off salespeople and other staff, and many more will have to raise prices dramatically on Canadian consumers. This at a time when our economy is at record weakness and our consumers are taxed to the max. Mr. Carney doesn't care if your family has to choose between affording a warm home or a working car. He doesn't care if a young couple trying to start a life can't afford their first vehicle. Well, we've got news for Mr. Carney. Canadians are taking back control of their lives for a change. A new Conservative government will axe the Carney tax.
It's Sheldon McLeod from MBS News. The parties, the leaders for the last number of weeks, for the last number of years have been telling us how they are different from each other, but after Monday, whoever forms government, the Prime Minister will be the Prime Minister of the entire country, not just the supporters that they have. So what is your plan to bring our country together to head on, to face the challenges that are in our future?
Yes, that's a very good question. Canadians have been divided by their government over the last decade. They've been told to turn against each other. I think that's the wrong way. The right way is to bring our people together. And, what unites this country is what I call the Canadian promise, that doesn't matter where you come from. It matters where you're going. If you work hard, you should get a great life. It doesn't matter if you've been here your family's been here for 6 generations, or if you've been here for 6 weeks. If you're prepared to put your shoulder to the wheel and work hard, you should give a great life and a beautiful home on a safe street. And I'm going to rekindle that promise and unite people around that purpose. We are one country. We're a proud country. And I owe everything to this country. It gave me a start from a very humble beginning to be able to stand before you at this stage. And I'm going to give that back. My goal is to make sure that every single kid who's born in this country has that same opportunity. Every single senior that's worked hard their entire life has a dignified retirement. So let us unite our country around that shared promise, and let's bring home change for the future. Thank you.
Campaign. What made you decide to come to Nova Scotia now, and what have you been hearing from people here regarding their biggest concerns this election cycle?
Thank you. Well, it's never a bad time to go to Nova Scotia. It's great to be here. So every day is a good day in Nova Scotia. In fact, I think my friend Rick Perkins here thought that we should spend all the 36 days of the campaign in Nova Scotia and never leave, which it's an incredible honor to be back. And what I'm hearing is that people want change. They want change. After a lost Liberal decade, Nova Scotians cannot afford to eat, heat, or house themselves. Housing costs have risen more in Halifax than in any other city in the country. The drug addiction crisis and crime crisis is raging out of control, and we can't afford a 4th Liberal term of rising costs and crime. The people of Nova Scotia and Canada need a change. change so that they can afford food and housing, change so that they're safe on their streets, change to put Canada first. That is our mission, and we're here with a plan to deliver that change, a plan that in fact is called change. It will give Nova Scotians back their paychecks by lowering income tax by 15%. It will axe the federal sales tax on new homes. It will lock up violent criminals to keep Canadians safe nationwide. And so I'm here with a hopeful message for Nova Scotians that a bright future and a wonderful change is just around the corner. If you vote for a Conservative government, you will get that change. We will unite our country. We will restore its promise. Thank you very much.
Baker News.
Yes, sir.
With the threat of U.S. tariffs impacting the auto industry, how would you work to ensure that impact is limited?
First of all, I will axe the Carney tax. Can you imagine in the middle of this trade dispute how irresponsible the Liberals and Mark Carney must be to contemplate a $20,000 tax on Canadian-made gas-powered vehicles? It is utterly reckless. Not only is Mr. Carney continuing with the disastrous policies of Justin Trudeau, he wants to take them even further. Taxing your vehicle at $20,000 will mean you won't be able to afford one. So when people's old vehicle is breaking down and they can't afford a new car, they can't afford the Carney tax, how are they going to get to work? What are they going to do? And how are we going to keep jobs in this country when there's a new tax, Liberal tax, on vehicles? I will axe that tax, and I will let Canadians choose their own automobile. They will make their own decisions for themselves. Rural people, suburban folks need cars and trucks, and we need to protect their ability to make that decision. Furthermore, we want to encourage Canadians to buy Canadian automobiles. So we will axe the sales tax on Canadian cars. So here you have a choice. If you vote for a fourth Liberal term, you're going to get a $20,000 tax on your gas-powered automobile. You vote Conservative, you're going to get a tax-free vehicle that is made in Canada, knowing that you'll be creating jobs for fellow Canadians and strengthening our economy. This is the way we need to go. We need to put our country first for a change, put taxpayers first for a change, put affordable cars and trucks first for a change. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Well, that's a question for Mr. Carney to answer. I wasn't there. But what's clear is we will stand up for our sovereignty. We will never be an American state, and we will focus on what we can control, which is to reverse the disastrous Liberal economic policies that Mark Carney advised Justin Trudeau to take, which have driven up the cost of living and driven our jobs south. My approach is to bring change. Change by cutting bureaucracy, taxes, and bringing down the cost of living. Change by unleashing the construction of new homes and Canadian resources to bring back the $500 billion that Liberals pushed south. Change so that Canadians can create jobs here at home. My plan will cut taxes on work, investment, home building, and energy so that we can unleash production and powerful paychecks and stand up for our country from a position of strength for a change. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.